Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast, Real Talk with Recruiters, where we give you real and raw insight into our lives as recruiters, but we also share tips from resume building to interview performance and employment opportunities, even within our own organization. So, my name is Kelly.
My name is Jacqueline.
And I'm Alexia.
And we are all recruiters and team members on the nursing talent acquisitions team for the largest healthcare organization in the St. Louis regional area. So, this is our second episode, and we wanted to discuss how community service can build your career network, job experience, and even open up some career opportunities. But before we go into our first topic for today, we want to formally introduce our new co-host Alexia.
Woohoo!
So welcome Alexia, and welcome to this new world that we're creating over here. So that the audience knows who you are, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your experience, your background?
Yeah, so I'm Alexia. As Kelly introduced, I am a recruiter at one of the largest healthcare institutions in St. Louis. I am, I would say about 15 years into human resource, 7 years into recruitment. And I've found that this is my passion because it has always been close to my heart to kind of just keep it 100 with people, so to speak. And what a great place to do it on the front line as far as like getting people to their job opportunities and, open up the doors to careers that are able to take care of their house, their lives, their whole family, So to be that front person, I think I found my happy space. So
That's awesome. Well, you're going to bring so much good advice and insight to this. So we're super excited.
Glad to be a part of this.
I know, so excited. So Jacqueline and Alexia have the main experience, lots of experience between the two of them. Me, I am brand new to this. So I feel like I'm also going to learn a lot from you guys and just
You
see
still
how
have a
guys
lot
go.
to share. I mean,
I
don't sell yourself
do.
short. Tell everybody a little bit about your background because I don't know that we did that on the first episode.
I don't think we did. Okay, so I actually I worked for a um, city in St. Louis, a metropolitan city, and I was working in Parks and Rec. I was there for 15 years, so I started there when I was 16, and I came over to
That
this
job stability.
Yeah.
Yes, I came over to this new profession this past March in 2022. So I did a lot of things, mostly customer service, and then I went into management, and that's when I started hiring people and doing interviews, and I trained staff for a long time. And then I moved into marketing, and that's kind of how I have the experience to do what I'm doing now and everything that I kind of do on my socials outside of this. So that I kind of bring that into this new world.
Yeah. It all
New
comes full circle.
sourcing, new sourcing perspectives, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
Jacqueline, go
awesome.
ahead and introduce yourself because I don't think we did that.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I've been in healthcare recruitment for almost 10 years. So it is pretty much what I know. Gotta love it. I've done everything from, healthcare systems to senior living, to even some different kind of larger scale agency type of placement. So lots of recruitment experience, but I'm still learning a lot too. And I'm sure you guys are going to teach me a lot too.
Well, it's going to be really fun. And I think that we kind of all bring our own fun spice to the table with all these topics that we're going to talk about. And we have so many planned already. And in fact, we were not going to initially use this topic the first go around. Honestly, I don't even think this was on the list. It was something that Alexia actually brought to the table this week because our team, um, our nursing team, did some volunteer work in St. Louis this week. And we were all so inspired by it. I guess
So inspired.
let's talk a little bit about what we did and where we were. So we were at Almost Home, and I grabbed their brochure.
Yes,
So
great organization.
I'm gonna read their little who they are. At Almost Home, we operate based on this philosophy. We believe that given the proper amount of love, support, skills, and information, every teen young mom can create a better life for herself. We believe teen and young moms are not problems to be fixed, but potential to be developed and nurtured. I love that so much.
That's
And
awesome.
so, those are just like two quick lines I wanted to read off here. But basically, it is an organization who provides support and love to young moms.
Mm-hmm.
So from what they offer
16 to 21, I think.
16 to 21 or 22,
22.
one of them, but
Mm-hmm.
they offer tutoring and classwork. There's a teacher that comes in. They have a daycare. They have a gym. There's a living quarters for each mom and baby, and that is how we got involved. Is our team adopted one of the rooms. Jacqueline does some interior decorating on the side.
On the side.
I know it's so
Call
good that
me.
you would think it was like her only job.
So good.
For real. So she helped out and designed the space in our team, and we had a committee. Alexia and I were both on the committee. There was two others as well, and we kind of organized this whole thing. And
But
for
like,
our
hold on a
team.
second, because when you guys presented this like idea to the larger group of our coworkers and you had found this, it was so unique because of like their mission and their philosophy. And then because of like the type of work that we get to do. You know, we don't
Mhm.
always get to really like see a project through to like full fruition when you're doing volunteer work. Like sometimes when you jump into like different charities, you're
Good
just
point.
doing a task and you do get, to complete that task. But this was like building something from scratch and seeing it like all the way to the end. And
Mhm.
it was definitely hard work, but what a cool, charity for you guys to pick. I thought it was really cool.
Well, we were very
Yeah.
lucky to connect with a couple of our communities service. I don't say workers, but what are they? That's what they do for our organization. Is they go out and they find volunteer opportunities in the area, and they go out and they give back to the area. And so we connected with them and said, this is what we want to do. Do you have any ideas of where we can start with volunteer work and some good places? And they suggested this one out of a list of them. They said this one first, and we said, stop, we don't need to hear anything else. This is the one.
The place, and you think about it, like I've been here all my life here, in this city all my life, and I had never heard of the place.
Right.
Right, I've been a part, we've worked in places and we've had volunteer opportunities before, but this one I had never heard of Almost Home. It was nice to learn about what they do, and if you guys, if you're in the area, St. Louis surrounding areas, look it up because it's kind of like, I want to say, a diamond in the rough. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
absolutely. I absolutely got that feeling. I had, like you, no idea that,
Hmm.
the organization even existed. And the more I heard about it, the more I wanted to learn more. It's
Exactly.
like the more you hear, you're like, okay, how can they do this much good stuff
Hmm.
for, the community and the members that it serves? So,
Yeah.
the opportunities, that's what I was going to say earlier, was the opportunities don't just like stop with what we did. So
Hmm.
we um we took one of the rooms and totally transformed that to feel more homey for the members that might occupy it.
Hmm.
So, but that's only just one of the facets of the volunteer efforts that you can do there. So if you wanted to
Yeah.
just choose fundraising opportunity, or I know they were talking about a Thanksgiving drive, which you guys can kind of talk a little bit more about.
Hmm.
So many
So
ways.
I was gonna say, Kelly, are you back with us?
I am. Yes. I don't
Okay.
know what happened there. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Okay, that's okay. Just to not to pivot all the way, but I did want to. The reason why we're talking about the Almost Home opportunity and the volunteer opportunities is because we really wanted our listeners to know that networking, well, that community service and community events, it's not just for the heck of it. Of course, yes, we want to give back, but there are great things that can come from this. And like Kelly mentioned at the beginning, one of the things we wanted to touch on was it when you volunteer in places like this, it gives you an opportunity to build up your network and meet people. So, that's one thing that we can kind of start with that aspect of it. You're meeting new people, you know, it's not as formal as a job, so you don't have to be so worried about, being impressive or being
Right.
professional and all polished. You're volunteering, so you're not getting paid to be there, you know. But but it's a great way to meet. You never know who you're gonna meet. For example, we met I just volunteering there. So one of the ladies that worked there is a therapist or counselor. And it was on one of our times where we walked through. Now, networking opportunity, this is someone, and it's a personal networking opportunity for me. So this is now a therapist, just me talking to her. I kind of resonated with her. So me talking with her, I'm going to use her for services, and I'm going to
Oh, I
recommend
love
her.
it.
Yeah, I'm going to
Yes.
recommend her to people. And it's just like when I started just the brief conversation I had with her, now through this opportunity here, I have a therapist in my network, a counselor in my network that I can use. I can refer to people. So that's just, that's a personal way, but it's definitely professional network opportunities as well.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that we had talked about is that the skills, the things that you learn when you volunteer can be applied to your resume. You know
Yes.
what
Yeah.
I mean? So, like, when you're building your resume, and if I am a recruiter looking at your resume and I see that you volunteered um, as a lifeguard and you learned CPR and first aid, and you might not have nursing experience yet, but you're in school, but I know you started that early. I know you can't necessarily be on stand when you're like a junior lifeguard or whatever, but you can start young. If
Mhm.
you have goals, if you have dreams and you want to be a lifeguard, or I'm sorry, and you want to be a nurse, like being a lifeguard, you learn a lot of those types of skills that you just have to have going
Right.
into nursing. So
Or
there
in the
are ways.
case of Almost Home, the child care facility that they have, that's volunteer ran. So
Oh,
that's
yes,
something that you can
exactly.
regularly get those volunteer hours for. Say you're
Hmm.
interested potentially in going the pediatric route, and you want to get some experience with children. That's a great way to build your resume
Yeah,
without, having, getting a paycheck, but you're still getting experience.
exactly.
Exactly. And people always have, and that's our one of our second points here is just the job experience. So it's volunteer experience, or it's you're a volunteer, but you're still learning new skills. Like what you just said, Kelly, about adding it to your resume. I'm gonna have to put some kind of reminder to add on my resume that I was a part of a volunteer committee, because
Yes,
the things that we did, I'm sorry, but I've never organized a volunteer event.
I know. Yeah,
you
me
know,
neither.
You
Yeah,
guys did
so
awesome. You guys were great leaders of the committee.
so
thank you. Yeah.
that is something that you can truly put on your resume. You never know what company that you're applying for that's going to resonate with that experience. You never know what hiring manager, whomever it may be. People just people need to realize that just every opportunity could potentially turn into something that you want to add to your resume that's going to show who you are and what type of experiences you might have been exposed to. So,
Well, and I like to give a little shout out because like and I tell people this when I'm recruiting and when I'm doing phone screens, but BJC focuses a lot on career growth. And we did not choose to be on the volunteer committee, right? Like they didn't say who
yeah.
wants to do it. They said these are the four people that are going to do this. We want to put together a volunteer experience. And I was a little like, okay, I've never done this before, right? Like I, I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and we'll do it together. We'll figure this out. In the first couple meetings, we all agreed we've never done this before. But look how much we learned
Mhm.
simply because our supervisors are amazing and they said, put this together, do this. And they were very supportive along the way in helping us become successful in this. But by default, we just grew in our career because we did this, because they put us in a place to be successful, to learn something new. And
Mhm.
I think that that shows a great employer. And I think that it, like you said, it's something we can carry with us to other future facilities that we might go to.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, we like I said earlier, we were not planning on having this conversation today, but light bulbs were going off on our heads all
Yeah,
week while we were doing this. And like the big light bulb in Alexia's head went off. She's like, "We need to do this.
absolutely.
We need to talk about this. It's
Yeah,
important."
that experience piece, that really, because we run into a lot of people. I don't know if y'all have run into it in the past, just even at other organizations or just talking, because your friends and family, they know you the recruiter, they know you the HR person, they always hit you up with HR questions, you know. But they always, well, how am I gonna, like, oh my God, I literally just got a message from LinkedIn today from a friend of mine who has her HR degree but doesn't have an HR job. And she was asking, how am I going to get into it without the experience? And I'm like, well, and she also asked about the pay cut, which this is a whole nother podcast topic of changing careers, and you're going to have to expect the decrease in pay because it's going to happen.
Yes.
But she was asking about how to break into it. She has a degree. How do you break into it? And I'm gonna have to brainstorm, volunteer opportunities, where you're
Yep.
gonna that volunteer opportunity, find a volunteer opportunity that may be geared towards you just never know what you can find out here on
Right.
Google, in
No.
these Google streets.
And don't be afraid to take volunteer or internships without pay. I mean, I did
Mm-hmm.
that an entire summer trying to get into the HR space and recruitment space. And yeah, it was a lot because I had to also, work somewhere else to make a paycheck in the meantime. But the experience that I gained from that volunteer internship in HR, I mean, it was invaluable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sets you
That's
up
so
for
true.
your career. It sets you up.
I could speak to so many things whenever I was interviewing for my first real job as a recruiter because I had been in it. I had learned the lingo. I had been exposed. And that
Mhm.
exposure is everything.
And we see that as recruiters. We
Yeah.
see that exposure and we know that that's going to contribute to the success of the candidate. If I had a candidate come through who had zero work experience and they were in nursing school versus a candidate who came through who, even if they were just any type of work, customer service is huge with nursing, right? You're talking to
Mhm.
patients every day, you're talking to
Yep.
families every day. Any type of work experience where you're dealing with people is going to be beneficial because customer service will be applied to literally any job you have.
And that's my
Um,
biggest piece of
yeah.
advice whenever you have a volunteer experience, as we're talking about today, or even work experience, think about before you're going into an interview for the job. Think about like, how does my past experience apply to this job? And like, how can I talk about this in my interview to make it sound like I am ready for this position?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Exactly. And that's a good point.
mhm.
What I like what you said right there was think about that ahead of time,
Yep.
you know, because people you have to be intentional about what, take that job description, think about what you've done. This is why I'm a huge note taker and
Yeah.
documenter.
Yes.
So you have to figure out a way. I know it can be cumbersome, it's always cumbersome as you've been on the job 5 years and you're like, oh, I got to remember everything I did. Well, maybe, take time to, write down some of these accomplishments, write down some of the things you've been exposed to. Be very intentional about taking a look back before you prepare for that interview and then go on that job interview so you're ready.
You say it
Yes.
all the time on your Instagram too. You always have videos on your Instagram about it. Be prepared when you go into an interview. You have to be
That's what we
prepared.
mean. Yep.
Yes, that's
That's what
That
we
was
exactly what we
mean.
that was
mean
good, Jacqueline. That was it. That was
You
because
it.
can think about we can't give you an exact um, playbook of what's going to happen in your hiring manager interview, but I can assure you that they're going to have looked at your resume before you come in and interview. So know what's on your resume and know how you're going to talk about it. If they say, "Hey, Kelly, so tell me about your volunteer experience as a lifeguard. How was that?" I know somebody that swam there or whatever. And those are things that you're going to feel like, okay, I got this.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because it's been times, like I said, in my previous life, you can tell when a person, I'm like, it shows on your resume that this, that, and third. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh, well, and then if you're on a phone interview, even if you're in an in-person interview or whatever it may be, more than likely it's okay for you to have your resume there to glance back at if you
Oh
need to,
yeah.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
not to deviate, but just good points here.
I can't
Yeah.
wait because we're gonna have one episode where we just talk about resume building and what your resume should have and what to stay away from. And I can't wait because that's gonna be very insightful. But
Uh-huh.
I think just coming in and being able to know exactly how to apply what you've done to that specific job is really important because I came from a job that was not healthcare recruitment, right? I came from a
Mhm,
job that was marketing.
Yes, Kelly, you
mhm.
are the perfect
Man,
example of this.
yes, I
Yes.
managed a team. I did hire staff. So I had experience in reviewing resumes and seeing what I liked and what I didn't think was going to fit our job skills. But um, I think being able to understand the position, I knew someone who worked in a similar role here in the same organization, and he was able to tell me a little bit about the job, and I picked his brain. I wanted to know. I prepared myself. I went online, I studied their website,
He was in your
and
network.
Network.
that's
Yep.
right. And I found out through the grapevine through this wonderful person who was helping me learn what it was that this job entailed. That sourcing is a big deal, and I know that sourcing is just a form of marketing. That's all it is. So I ran with it.
I love it.
I got marketing experience. You need somebody. You need people in here. I can sell it. I can sell these jobs. That's all it is. So yeah,
I
you just
love
have
that.
to you have to connect the dots because
I love that.
yes.
No, I just wanted to say I love that because sometimes as a candidate, you have to uh what's the word I want to use? You have to convince the person you're talking to on the other side. So like what you did. Me as a recruiter, I'm sorry, but I have never connected the dots on what you just said with marketing. What you were doing, recruiting is similar to marketing. Well, I did not know that. But anyway, what you just said, now here I am on the other side. And if you're my candidate that's interviewing with me, you just told me what something, oh, you know what? She got a good point there. Let me write that down. See, so you have sometimes
Yes.
on the other side, you can be that person to
Yeah.
you convince the person that you're talking to, even though they didn't realize it or didn't think about it, or just wasn't, they just didn't even think about it. You as the candidate, you thought about it.
You're being a salesperson. You're selling yourself in that interview.
Yep.
How can you what can you give this organization that you're about to work for? How are you going to make them better? How are you going to be able to provide the skills that you have, even if you don't have experience in the position, and in
Mhm.
to the certain degree that others do, but yeah, just picking the things that you do have experience in and selling those things. That's all you need.
Mhm.
And volunteering, it goes the exact same way. They're
Yes.
just skills.
That's
You're not
it.
getting paid for the skills, but you've learned the skills and you know them and you know them well.
That's it. And
That's it.
okay, so the person that there was an employee that works at the Almost Home facility, who I don't think we mentioned it yet, but she started off as a volunteer at the Almost Home facility. And because of her volunteering there and building her network, volunteer opportunity turned into a full-time job. So,
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Imagine this. Like, imagine someone, like, this is what I think about. You have your job, right? You're working at a job and you maybe are thinking it's time to move on and you have a dream job, right? Find a way to get inside that dream job without them paying you because no one's going to turn away free work, right? So even if you don't see anything online where it says volunteer, call them.
mhm,
Say, I really love your organization and what it stands for. And I'm trying to get some, I really love volunteering and community service. And I was wondering if there's anything I can do in the building. I have a job. I want to do some extra work because it fulfills me. And see what they say. They might
Mm-hmm.
dream something up for you. Everyone has work that needs to be done,
That's right.
paperwork, anything. But getting your foot in the door that way is the same as starting from the bottom of a paid position, and getting your foot in the door. It's the same thing. You
And it's
just,
more common than people think.
yeah.
It's more
Yeah.
common than people. I literally was reading a book about a girl who's an actor now who that's how she got into whatever her first agency was or something. She just volunteered. And they saw her
See?
work through her volunteering, and then she became a writer for the show.
Well, think about it. As employee, like as people who hire other people, and when I was hiring and managing, um, I would definitely put someone else above another person, even if they don't have this, as much experience. They already know our facility. They
Yep.
already have a relationship with half the staff. I already know their work ethic. I know what they can bring to the table. And that's just going to make you stand out from anyone else.
Yep. So
Yeah,
true.
it's a
Have
great
another
way.
quick story about I don't know if you all have heard of it, maybe our listeners have, but Denzel Washington actually, and this is another piece about volunteering. I think he was a volunteer at a camp, and he was a camp counselor, and they had a theater show or something. And some people may already know this story, but he was in the play, and that's how he found out he wanted to be an actor. He enjoyed
Wow.
it. He enjoyed it, but others said, "You're really, really good at this." And now Denzel is Denzel.
Right, right.
So,
Wow, I never knew that story.
That's such a cool
yep.
story.
But it's
Yeah,
really like that's just like it's kind of just like hustle, right? And you're just grinding. If you want something so bad, you will do it for free until
that's
someone
right.
notices you and wants to pay you. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And
So true.
it's just nice to see, sometimes, even if it's not an organization that you necessarily want to end up working for, but it is always nice to see that volunteer work on resumes, you
So
know?
we'll see what happens with my interior design career after this.
Is it volunteer? Because I would love to utilize your services.
I don't
Kelly
know. Hang
asked. I was
on.
thinking it, but Kelly asked.
I
Right.
mean, hey, it doesn't hurt to ask.
If I want it bad enough, right?
Exactly. You
Right.
wouldn't
What
even need it.
you need?
Everybody was asking Jacqueline for her services last week or yesterday because it
Yes.
was just beautiful. If you guys want to see kind of what it looks like, I was gonna throw a picture up here and I forgot, but um look at any of our socials, or
Yep.
Jacqueline and I at least, and we'll have all of our socials listed underneath our pictures here. So you guys can go and follow us. But Alexia has the most followers at what are you at, like 2000s, two something?
A little
So
bit. A little
popular.
bit for me, but okay.
Ooh.
I feel like I just really love it. That's what it's really.
Yeah,
That's really what it is.
You
you
love
do a really good
networking
job.
with people, and you can
Yeah.
tell.
You do a really good job
I
of
think I
your
like
reels are
people.
great. They're hilarious. They're really funny. You guys gotta go follow Alexia.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you. So
it's
I think
good
I
content.
think I think that I hope that everyone has understood through this conversation that community service can do so many different things for you and set you up for success. So
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a
I
good one.
second that. Yes. It's been a really fun to see something through from beginning to end and then leave thinking, what can we do next? Like that's the
I
best
know.
part.
right, we
Yeah.
did leave thinking that y'all. Don't even get me started.
I
I'm
was
telling.
I was thinking it my whole drive home. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back." I had so much fun.
So, Alexia, when we were leaving and you were kind of still hanging out, is that who you were talking to, or was it something
Yes,
else? Because someone
it
else said
was.
that you were recruiting.
I was recruiting.
So
There
Alexia
was
is the
yeah.
opportunist. She volunteers to find staff. That's
There
where
was
we're at
a
in
young
life.
girl that I'm actually calling her probably in the next hour just
Oh my
to
gosh.
talk to her about, the opportunities we have. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think I'm like gonna adopt her as my mentee or something, and just
Oh,
check in
Oh,
with her. And
is
it's
she
just,
one of the residents?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
love it.
She's
Love
one of
it.
the graduated residents though, so like
Alumni,
they
yeah.
got a whole program. Y'all should look at it, but
yes.
because not only, I mean, like I said, I know we had already kind of hit on all of our points, but it's just good for you. Giving back is good for you,
It's good for
and
the soul for sure.
yeah, it's good
You
for you.
just feel it. You feel better about yourself,
Hmm.
and doing it local, makes you feel even better, knowing that you're providing back to the community that you're working in and that you live in. Um, yeah, it just makes
Hmm.
you feel happy inside. So, on that, if you guys don't have anything else to add, we'll close it up. And I want to thank everybody for listening and continuing to listen to our podcast. It is now on Spotify and Amazon
So
Music.
official.
So official. And we also have a website that I have linked in my Instagram. We'll put it in this as well. It's just a easy, quick place that you can go and listen to all of our episodes if you don't feel like searching them on the engines in Spotify and Amazon Music. But share this if you think it's good content. If you think that it's something somebody else would like to hear, share it with them. And if you are looking for job opportunities, we're your girls. We can
There
help
you
you with
go.
And
that.
share with us things that you would like to hear as a potential candidate looking for a position. We're always looking
Yeah.
for new content to share with you guys and ways that we
Yeah.
can advise you.
And we are all hiring nurses right now, aren't
Yes.
we?
Yep.
Everybody has nurses positions available, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So we are here. And if it's not a nursing position that you're looking for, we are all very close and our team
Hmm.
is very large, the talent acquisitions team, so we can connect you with someone within our team who would love
Yes.
to speak with you.
And
So
Alexia's
don't
got
be shy.
connections all over the city,
Yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
even if you're not in
You,
healthcare.
you ladies are too much.
Well, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next time.
See you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.